Today I'm replacing the upper transmission mount on my 2008 Dodge Grand Caravan. This is the new one. It is under the battery. So the first thing I want to do is pull the battery out and the battery tray so I can access it. To remove the battery, you've got to loosen these two 10 millimeters on the battery cables, and then there's a 13 millimeter hold down bolt here that holds the battery in place. Then you should be able to pull the battery out of the way, and we'll see what we need to take out to get the tray out. To pull the battery tray out, there are 3 bolts. Mine are a little rusty, so I sprayed them with some penetrant so they don't snap off. They are 13 millimeter bolts, and then there's a couple wire ties. This guy and this guy that are attached to the tray. I pop those up with a pair of dikes so that they're loose. Alright, so with the battery tray out of the way, we have access to the mount that we are trying to replace. There's 6 bolts, these 2 on top, and then those 2 on each side. Before I loosen any of those bolts, I'm going to take a jack with a block of wood, stick it under the tranny pan. When you pull those 2 upper bolts out, the transmission will slip down, and you don't want to put too much force on anything or be fighting it going back together and cross-thread any bolts. You can see that my mount is completely separated. That's why I'm replacing it. It's not doing a very good job holding stuff in place. These 2 bolts on the side that bolt to the side of the frame rail are the last to come out. You got to do them with a wrench. You don't really have a whole lot of room, but you have enough room to pull them out. They'll also be the first ones to go in. You want to start all 4 of these little bolts before you tighten anything down so you're not fighting yourself. And then you want to line up the tranny. Make sure that you're also not cross-threading those top bolts. Now that I have the old mount completely out, you can see why I'm replacing it. The rubber is completely worn apart and the mount is broken in 2 pieces. The new one's intact and will keep the transmission from shifting. You might have to take a small pry bar and pry gently against the tranny and the mount to line up these upper bolt holes. Make sure the bolts go in smoothly. You're not forcing them in or cross-threading anything. Alright, so once you get the mount installed, double check that all your bolts are tight. Put the battery tray back in, put the battery in, reset your clock, test drive the vehicle, make sure everything's good, and that's it.